All right. Let's jump over and talk about the Japanese situation involving cracking down on flashy baby names. That's right. The Japanese, I don't know, man. I don't get it. This is what's going on here. So Japan has passed this new law targeting the country's growing trend of bizarre and creative baby names, often referred to as Kirakira or sparkly names. In America, it's anything just with an Aiden surrounding it. Braden, Caden, Jaden, Dayden, Raiden. I don't know, right? I hate the name Aiden. And I don't like any association with it. I have friends that are named with that, but I feel bad for them because they have that name. But anyway, so yeah, sparkly names. They don't want it. They don't like it one damn bit. The law now requires parents to submit both the kanji characters and the intended pronunciation when registering a child's name. I actually kind of like that. So I've got 2 kids. They're in elementary school, and I've been meeting some of their friends. And yeah, it's not as bad as we've seen in the past, right? But some of these parents, they really want their kids to stand out. They really want their kids to really stand out when in a line or in a name. I don't know. Like, again, here's the thing. When you have a kid, your best bet is to name that child something with an A, not Aiden. And the reason why you want to do that is because when people go alphabetically, that name pops up first, one of the first ones. You want to do that because then your kid is going to be up there more. You know what I mean? And so if your kid is named like Zizix, as I'm sure some kid out there is, their name is all the way down at the bottom of the alphabet. And that might be something that hurts them down the road. Just something to keep in mind. But then again, parents, want to live vicariously through their children, so they name them things like that. You know what I mean? Like my nephew, new nephew. Okay. Love my nephew. Love my sister. Love my brother-in-law. Great people. They named him after a Star Wars character. Okay. Now, granted, it's one of my favorite Star Wars characters, so I'm not so mad about that, but I'm like, they named him after a Star Wars character. And his middle name is named after a Star Trek character. And I'm not telling you guys which, because I would be doxing my 4-month-old nephew. But, they've done that. And it's like, okay, they're nerds. I get it. All right. But again, maybe my pragmatic elderly millennial mindset is just like, really? But I'm not going to judge them. That's what they wanted to do. And they're good parents and the kid's a cutie and everything else. But anyway, so here's what's going on now, right? Officials in Japan can actually now reject names that use invented, confusing, or socially problematic readings. The crackdown is a direct response to a rise in unconventional names inspired by pop culture, brands, and fantasy, including examples like Pikachu, Naiki, which is a riff on Nike, I guess, Pooh, as in Winnie the Pooh, something entirely outlawed and condemnable by death in China, and even Akuma, which means devil. Is that from it's not from like Miraculous, is it? I know, like evil Akuma. Yeah, what, I don't know. Like kids watch that shit. Now, these names have caused practical headaches for teachers, doctors, and civil servants who struggle to read or pronounce them correctly. Man, in the States, you get called the fuck out for that, right? If you can't pronounce it correctly, they are on your ass. Like, what do you mean you can't? Zizix, you don't know how to spell it. It's like, it's X, starts with Zizix starts with an X, I believe, right? I'm looking this up real quick, right? XXYZ, Ziz. I don't even know how to look it up, man. Zizik name. Let's see here. I don't even know. And I know it's a thing. Oh God, this is what I get for not fully preparing in the best way possible. But anyway, that's something going on with that. Now, these names have caused practical headlines or headaches, I should say, for teachers, doctors, and civil servants who struggle to read or pronounce them correctly. The government also cites a need to streamline digital services, which are disrupted by irregular name readings. Basically, too many characters that are going to set off the system for going like, is this fake? Now, while there are critics who argue that the reform stifles creativity and individuality, supporters believe it's necessary to protect children from future embarrassment and prevent administrative confusion. And this move does ultimately underscore a cultural tug of war in Japan between modern individualism and traditional conformity. And like, look, man, like I get people want to express themselves. I look at it the same way I look at like ear piercings. You know, like you forcing an ear piercing on an infant may not be something that the infant wants, right? Like my daughter's 7. She wants to get her ears pierced. We're talking about it. You know, we're doing some clip-ons and whatever to get her used to it before we do that, right? You got to wait for the kid to figure it out themselves, you know? So if your kid wants to like change their name to like Charmander or Bulbasaur when they're 16, like let them do it. You know what I mean? But like in the meantime, just nickname the hell out of them. But like give them a name on paper that works, that's going to be beneficial to them. And then you give them a fun nickname, right? You know, I always like, there's also like that joke from Robin Hood Men in Tights, right? Where Richard Lewis is talking to, King Jong is talking to the witch. And he's like, that's an interesting name, Latrine. And she's like, it's a family name, but we changed it in the 14th century. And he goes, you changed it to Latrine? And she's like, yeah, it used to be Shithouse. Right? Funny joke, great movie. If you've never seen it, go watch it. It's one of the funniest damn things out of the 90s. And the last good thing Mel Brooks did. But that's the same kind of concept here, right? Is you name your kid something stupid, and then either they got to handle it down the road or I don't know, or whatever. So I'm kind of on board with Japan here, but let me guys know what you think about this, obviously. Now, let's get into the controversial story of tonight.